Now in this how-to we are going to learn how to display mouse over effect on grid view rows using CSS. Mouse over effect is very useful in case you have large number of records to display on the page and you have a lot many columns to display. So let me show you that in the example, so that it will be very clear that how to work with how to display mouse over effect and what is the benefit of it. So for that, let me create one ASPX page, and on that ASPX page we are going to place some CSS code as well as the grid view. So here you can see that I have a CSS style, and that CSS style is basically gridview1.tr.row and then hover. I'm going to explain that what it is doing, and then let me copy paste the code behind code here as well. So this is my code behind. You can see I'm going to explain each and every line of the code from the code behind. So if you are not understanding, do not worry about it. And I think we are almost done. Let me just rectify some of the bugs that was here. Yes, this is done and this is done. So both are done. Let me align it so that it will look nice. Yes. Now in the code behind file, what we have is that the first line of code is basically a page label variable that basically retrieves the database connection string from the web.config file. You can see that this constr is being retrieved here using the configuration manager object that exists into system.configuration namespace. And if the page will be loaded for the first time, then we are going to call the get data method, and in that method basically what we are doing is that we are using simple audio.net to retrieve the data from the personal detail table and filling into the data table object, and that data table object is basically being populated into the grid view, and then data bind method is being called that will actually bind the data to the grid view. That's it. Now the magic that happens, that will basically show you the mouse over effect, that happens because of this CSS style. Now in this grid view, what we have done is we have written row style dash CSS class is equal to row hover. Row hover is nothing but my class that will only effect for the data table whose ID is gridview1, and it will only effect for those element of that data table that is of tr type, and when we are hovering the mouse over it. So let me run this page and you will be able to understand how it is working. Now here you can see that as soon as I will mouse over, you are saying that it is displaying me the mouse over effect, and it is changing the background color to yellow. This background color to yellow is changing because I have a specified background color as yellow. If I will specify background color as green, then we will see that now it will come as green. You can see that now it is coming as green. So now let us go ahead and see the source code of this particular page. So let me show you the source code, and then you will be able to correspond the CSS style here. You can see that the table ID is gridview, and for every tr, you can see that for every tr we are writing row hover, means row over. But this CSS class will only take effect when you will mouse hover. That's why this hover filtration is there. So that's why what is happening is that by default nothing is coming here, but as soon as I will mouse over on the row, then this CSS style will take effect and you will be able to see the mouse over effect. Now the next how to is related with getting the primary key value from the grid view rows. So this is how to get the primary key value of the grid view rows in JavaScript. This is basically useful when you want to show any pop-up, or you want to open any pop-up and you want to display some related record into that pop-up page. So for that, naturally you need some kind of primary key so that you can pass that primary key to the pop-up page, and you can retrieve that primary key into the pop-up page and retrieve the data from the database. So we are going to see how to do that. So to do that, first what we are doing is that we are going to first frame our ASPX page. So here is my ASPX code, and let me copy some more, because it looks like there is some more code here in the ASPX page. Yes, let us format it so that it will look nice. Okay, now let me explain the code of this ASPX page. Here we have simply one GridView, and what we are doing is that we are keeping one extra template field, and that template field header is details, and under that item template we are keeping one anchor tag, HTML anchor tag, and on click of the anchor tag we are basically calling one JavaScript function called open popup, and in this open popup we are passing the auto ID value of that particular record. So when this link will be clicked, the anchor tag, the hyperlink will be clicked, what happens is that this open popup JavaScript function fires, and first it will give you the alert, and then what it does is that it opens a pop-up, and in that pop-up it will open basically dummy page.aspx and pass auto ID as the parameter, and the pop-up width and height will be 300 and 200 respectively. Okay, fine. Now let me copy paste the code behind code as well. So here is my server side code. I'm just interchangeably I am using code behind and server side. So you should understand that when I'm saying code behind, it is the server side code basically. So yes, and now let us align this code. Okay, now here what we are doing is that first, as I explained many times, we have the database connection string, and then when the page will be loaded for the first time, then we are calling the getData method, and in this getData method we are using the edu.NET to retrieve the data from the database and populating into the GridView. Now when I'm running this page, you can see that I will have the GridView with column as the details also. So yes, you can see that column is as details also, and when I will click, what will happen is that it will give one auto ID as the alert. You can see that this auto ID as the alert it is giving, and then it will execute this window.open, that will basically open a pop-up window. Here it is opening a pop-up window, but because dummy page.aspx doesn't exist, so that's why it is throwing error. So let us create one dummy page.aspx. So here I'm going to create one dummy page page.aspx. Yes, and then now because we are passing here auto ID as the parameter, so let me retrieve that auto ID here. Response.write request.query string auto ID. So this would basically write the auto ID value. So now let me close this and let me click it again. So auto ID value is 10, so I should be getting 10 on the page. You can see that. So it looks like there is some more problem. Hold on. Yes, this error was because I have not formed my code correctly. Now let me close this pop-up again, and let me click the details link again. You can see that now we are getting 10 here, because that's what the auto ID is being passed. You can see here auto ID is being passed as 10. Now let me click this 5. You can see that I'm getting 5. So this is the way to basically access the auto ID or the primary key value in the JavaScript. Here you can see that I'm accessing into the JavaScript, and I am also able to pass to the pop-up page as you can see here.